Our topic of study covers one of the most impactful technological products of modernity, the radio. We focus specifically on how the Nazi Party and its fascist leader Adolf Hitler took advantage of the popular characteristics of the radio to promulgate their, ironically, anti-modern ideologies. During the time when radios first emerged and were both expensive and desired, the Germans released the Volksempfänger in 1933, or otherwise known as the People's Radio. It is an inexpensive, one-way communication propaganda machine that emerged at the same time that Hitler was appointed as the Chancellor of Germany. Hitler used this device to broadcast his speeches along with music and strategically timed his programming to fit in between breaks. It was ordered that all work must halt in factories when his speeches were being transmitted. By taking advantage of the radio's rise to popularity at this pivotal advancement in communication technology, it served as an ever more effective tool to advance the Nazi Party's propaganda in parallel to social change. Broadcast was introduced in Germany between the years of 1923 to 1924. It played a major part in the Nazi propaganda program to spread Hitler's messages to the public. Radio was used due to its ability to speak to every citizen at the same time, which made it the most effective way of putting over a message. Joseph Goebbels, the Reich Minister of Propaganda, therefore arranged for the production of cheap and affordable radios that were known as the people receivers, or the Volksempfängers. This way, even low-income consumers could afford a radio. On top of that, the Nazi regime timed their programming to fit in between work and leisure time, which means that all work must stop in factories when the Führer's speeches were being broadcasted live. Note that aside from the affordable prices, radio programs were operated by the government. Meanwhile, foreign radio was not allowed within the country to maintain public opinion. It not only brought the Führer's voice to each home, but also kept most of the other voices silent. Through the unprecedented use of various cultural forms of media, Hitler was able to spread his own personal ideology across Nazi Germany. The Nazi Party's use of radio exacerbated the medium's modern qualities. The radio acted as a unifying force and allowed the German people to experience Hitler's propaganda through despatialized simultaneity. Under the guise of German collectivism and nationhood, the radio thus serviced the state's desire of vehement and competitive individualism. In sharing Nazi propaganda, Hitler aimed to unite his people under the quest to restore Germany as an influential player on the global stage. Ironically, the views that Hitler's party shared with the nation were filled with anti-modern sentiments that paradoxically used Enlightenment logic. Hitler's ideological ideals took value in the reversion of Germany to its non-existent glory days. In the creation of this German national myth, he based his belief on the pre-existing romantic traditions that view the countryside as a land of goodness and wholesomeness, in which people should escape to from the ills of urban city life. In addition to this, there was also the desire to return to the traditional patriarchal family structure, and in doing so, the Nazi Party often resorted to attacking various feminist movements. However, at the center of Hitler's philosophy, there is the contradictory notion that through scientific logic, Enlightenment values should be rejected as modern life consists of unreasonable and unobjective struggle for power among various groups, and that humans are beasts. Through the creation of German mythos and his calling for a return for a simpler real life, Hitler was able to spread his anti-modern views instantaneously across unified Nazi Germany. The Volksempfänger has been indispensable in its contribution to modernity and especially that of World War II in Germany. It provided the nation with a propaganda machine that spread Hitler's messages throughout the Reich, uniting individuals from those residing in the countryside to those living in the city with the same ideology. Specifically, Hitler was able to use the Volksempfänger to spread ideologies that were a pushback to modernity, spreading messages that glorified a non-existent period of time. The Volksempfänger was an affordable new invention that many Germans, regardless of social class, was able to own.